What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, bringing you yet another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle today. And today's opponent is going to be Money. Interesting name, by the way. And it's actually against a fellow YouTuber. I believe his YouTube name is Jaskambo. And I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I apologize in advance if I am indeed just completely butchering that, but yeah, I'm going to put his link in the description for you guys. I'll put his channel down there, and yeah, make sure you go check him out. He also actually live recorded this battle, I believe. Yeah, he did. I watched it. I don't know. I'm blanking right now. I'm sorry. I'm working on like 3 hours of sleep, and I'm doing all this recording, and it's craziness. It's absolute craziness. So he brought an awesome team. And if you want to hear his side of it, definitely go check out that battle. I will put that link in the description as well for you guys. And it was just, I thought it was interesting hearing his side of things. So now you get to hear mine, albeit mine is not live. So today, before we get into the teams, just want to remind you guys that as long as this video reaches that magical number of 50 likes, that's what we're shooting for. That is the goal. I will continue to bring you these double daily Wi-Fi battle uploads and all of that fun stuff. Now, he's bringing a pretty awesome team. Unfortunately, he's bringing the Blissey and Gliscor core, and not really a fan of that, but he was not using the annoying versions of them. They were kind of different sets, and I can appreciate that. But on paper, it looks kind of scary and kind of bad, but it was not anything like that. He's also bringing the Volcarona Braviary Kingler, which is absolutely amazing. Kingler is actually a PU Pokemon, by the way, so just props to using that. And the Galvantula. So I really thought the Galvantula would be starting things off, but I don't think that's what he led with. We'll see in a minute. I'm bringing the Crobat again, Electabuzz again, Tauros, Claydol, Superior, and Frank, the Arcanine. And I'm pretty sure this was actually the max speed Arcanine, because I have a couple of Arcanines. Probably shouldn't have them all named Frank, but I just lose track of which one is max HP and max speed, and for some reason I decide not to check sometimes before the battle. Because I don't have multiples of very many Pokemon. Arcanine just happens to be one of them, and I just get it confused a lot. I really need to get in the habit of just double checking these things. That would make my life so much easier. So let's get into the battle, shall we? We shall. Volcarona's starting things off on his side. Shiny, it's beautiful, it's all that stuff. I'm bringing out my Crobat, going to go straight for that Brave Bird, because why not? I'm not afraid of this thing, can't hit me with anything. I guess he could have a Fire-type move, but I outspeed, and I've got that Brave Bird, so he's going to have to Quiver Dance here, and that is indeed what he does. And he could try to kill me off here, but I'm not sure that he wants to get rid of his Volcarona, because it's going to be easily revenged by pretty much, you know, anything that I want if he leaves it in. So he does, in fact, switch it out here, which is good for me because it gets rid of the boost that he just acquired through that Quiver Dance, and it kind of sucks for him because, you know, like I said, it is going to be easily revenged, and if I get Stealth Rocks up, the thing is just straight up dead. So I think he probably regretted leading off with Volcarona at that point. So I'm going to switch out into my Frank here. I decided to not go for the U-turn because he was going to outspeed and possibly kill me, and I wanted to go into Frank because he resists Bug Buzz, he resists any Fire-type move, and he's going to resist Giga Drain, which is another common coverage move. So unless he had Hidden Power Rock, which I don't think he did, I was going to be safe switching in here. So in comes the Blissey, going to close combated it. Close combated it? Is that proper English? I wanted to close combated it. No, that does not sound correct at all. That does not sound correct at all. Oh my god, my English is terrible sometimes. So I went for the close combats. It does a crap ton of damage because Blissey has terrible defense. Somehow he lives it. I don't know how. He does get a Toxic off, so that is unfortunate. And I'm going to go for the extreme speed here. As he switches in his Gliscor, it was kind of a predictable switch, but I didn't want to start making predictions at this point because I was jumping out to a pretty decent lead here. Not as far as, you know, fainted Pokemon, but he's got a couple of damaged ones, and I need to kind of play it safe here. Not incredibly safe, but safe enough where I don't let him too far back into the match. So I'm going to switch in my Claydol here because I was expecting an Earthquake, but he actually goes for the Facade. Facade, can you believe that? Facade Gliscor. How cool is that? I'm not even mad right now. Physically offensive Gliscor. Very interesting. So I predicted the Protect the next turn. It's pretty obvious. he probably just wanted to scout to see what I would do, get some poison heal recovery, all that stuff. So I'm going to set up my rocks, and if he can't spin them, which I don't think he can, unless this Gliscor has defog, but that's also very, very uncommon. And that's important because, as I mentioned earlier, that Volcarona is just dead as soon as it comes in. So he goes for the Facade, he gets a crit, and it really doesn't do that much damage. We hit him up with an Ice Beam, and he survives thanks to the lack of investment in special attack on my part. Because this is just a utility Claydol with Rapid Spin and that kind of stuff. There's no reason to invest in any of my attack stats. So I thought it might kill, but it does not. So we're going to have to switch out here because I'm going to die if I don't. And I would love to save Claydol for fodder or something, I don't know, get some more use out of him. So he's going to go for the Facade again, and I'm going to bring in Superior and go for the Coil, and he really can't do too much to me. He just has to keep going for the Facades unless he has Acrobatics, so this was a little bit of a risky switch. But even with Acrobatics, he's holding an item, obviously, because he has the Toxic Orb, so I felt kind of sort of safe switching in here. Got another Coil off. And now we can go for the Aqua Tail because we're at +2. And that's going to get a crit. So I'm not entirely certain if that mattered. If he was max HP, max defense, it may have mattered. I didn't calc it. It was going to be close, though. It was definitely going to be close. So in comes the Galvantula here. He's going to Bug Buzz me, and there's not really much I can do about that. Not really anything that I want to switch into it, especially because my special wall is Claydol, and that will just straight up die to a Bug Buzz. So it was in my best interest to just fodder it at this point and come in with the Crobat, which is going to outspeed, unless this thing was Scarfed. But I've only seen one person ever run a Scarfed Galvantula, and that was not the case here. So the Galvantula just goes down to that Brave Bird. So Crobat is definitely putting in some work here, and that's why I kept bringing him on, several of my teams over the last couple of days, just because he just constantly puts in work, whether it's OU, Mixed Tier, UU, does not matter. This Crobat does so much work. It's craziness. It is insane. So out comes the Braviary. This thing is either Scarfed or Banded. Didn't really want to find out which, so I switched in Arcanine because I can typically take physical attacks. Wasn't thinking about the Defiant here, even though my own Braviary has Defiant, so he's going to get to +1 with that Defiant boost. When factoring in the Intimidate and all that stuff, he's going to get hurt by the Rocky Helmet, but he just straight up destroys Arcanine's face, because Braviary is so powerful, so powerful. So we're going to Volt Switch here. I really wasn't scared, even if he was Scarfed. I'm Scarfed as well, so, it just really doesn't bother me. He has nothing to switch into. With that Gliscor dead, he was going to take a Volt Switch with something, and probably his best play there was going to be to switch into Volcarona for fodder, but he may have figured that I was Eviolite and not Scarfed, and therefore he would have been able to outspeed. That would be my best guess. So we're going to bring in the Tauros here and Iron Head this Blissey, just because my other moves do not have 100% accuracy. So I didn't want to risk a miss there. And that is that. So in comes the Kingler, and this thing actually has pretty decent physical defense, so I know it can take a hit, and it just barely takes that Rock Climb, because Life Orb and Sheer Force is nothing to scoff at, especially, with a stab move like Rock Climb. Tauros is so powerful, it is insane. I'm not sure why it's not used more. It's not like it has very common weaknesses, it's only weak to fighting. Anyway, the Kingler's going to go down there because he decided to go for the Swords Dance. He may have thought that that was going to be his only play to, try to make a comeback here. So can't really, get on his case about that one. I probably would have done the same thing. Or maybe just try to get rid of the Tauros first and then go for a Swords Dance, depending on how things were looking. But all in all, that was a good match. I have no idea what the score was. Maybe a 3-0? I have no idea. I have no earthly clue. Like I always say, the score does not matter. So make sure you go check out Jaskambo's channel. I will put that in the description. I think I mentioned that already. Definitely go check out his version of the battle. He had like a face cam live thing going on. Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. And he just does, Pokemon battles and that kind of stuff. So if you like my stuff, you'll probably like his stuff. So go give him a sub and show some support. Because that's what we're about in this community, supporting each other. So that is it for this time, guys. Thank you very much for watching, as always. And do not forget to leave a like on this video if you enjoyed it, because it does help out a lot. It helps out so much. And I will catch you guys for the next battle, but until then, game on.